Hi guys and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe and also click that notification bell if you enjoy what you see. Want to see more? Coming up, my report on the final game of the final series, week 1. My comments about how the Rugby League is treating the League Leaders Shield and its winners. So before we look at the final game of the weekend in the NRL series week 1, we're going to speak about the Super League and Catalan Dragons. Catalan Dragons last weekend at the Magic Weekend won League Leaders Shield. So the next game on TV for the for Catalan Dragons, you would have thought, yeah, they're going to do a big ceremony. Sky Sports are going to be over there and they're going to watch the game. It was a good game, to be fair. And also watch all the pomp and circumstance for this big event. Catalan Dragons winning the League Leaders Shield. First of their existence. Full stop. A second major trophy after Challenge Cup win 2018. Now, what do you think has happened when they're celebrating these league leaders? They put a 5-minute slot in the middle of the Hull KR versus Castleford. That's another good game, I must admit, but they're the league leaders. They're going to treat them lightly. If they're not going to treat the League Leaders Shield as important, which it is, it gives them the best draw in the Grand Final Series, European Super League, then what's the point in having You've been playing all these games all the way through the season, and Catalan have put a big show on for them with their former players from last season. Didn't get to say goodbye to Catalan Dragons fans, but able to come to the game and were given the big send-off. Thank you, big applause, everything like that. And then the new team are going to have their trophy ceremony after the game. Make it a big festival carnival feel. And it was going to be a big crowd. They didn't even have anything live at the stadium. Nothing. They just had a recorded section, and at the end, Benjamin Julian said, we'll finish this pitch. He went, that's it, thank you. Went back to the studio, and he talked about it for about 30 seconds, and they were done. They were done. You need to bring up the importance of the League Leaders Shield. They're going to be in France for the semi-final of the playoffs, which if Catalan win, they get to the grand final in Manchester. There. They have to go down to Catalan, and they have to show it, because it'll be one of 2 games for that weekend. They're going to have Super League for for less than 1 game. I think even the semi-final of Toulouse in their promotion hunt to get into Super League is also on in Sky. But fortunately, there's 2 French games over that weekend. That's why they're able to go down. I feel sorry for all those Catalan fans and also the expansionists and everyone who wants to see the game grow, like myself. Not see culmination of the regular season, to see the champions get what they deserve. You think it's right that this happens? A couple of years ago, 3-4 years ago, there was a chance that the trophy was going on the final day was going to go to A, B or C, and they had a helicopter standing by for the trophy to be here, there and everywhere, which made the trophy feel like a big thing. Why couldn't they do anything like that? Because Catalan had put on a show for their own fans. Why didn't Sky put on a show for everyone that watches Super League? It's usually inspirational for the team next season, or the team that's playing, to go at it even harder. You usually see another team rise up. In this case, Catalan's. Culmination of a lot of things. For the effort and the endeavour that they've put in over the last 2 years, no matter what people think about the game percentage wins, how many goal games, just one of those things. These Catalan team needs the props that they deserve. He went on talking about, oh, we need to grow the game in France, get more kids in France going. Why didn't he make a deal with French TV to put it on? It's their TV and our TV. Move the game to 5 PM so that it didn't, 5 PM UK time, so 6 there, so that didn't coincide with their game that they're going to show on Sky. Get them to, they're like they used to say that we'll pay for it because it's 20 grand. Again, they're being penny safe. Dumb. Penny smart. They want to grow the game in different areas. They keep saying on Sky, the League and Super League and things like that, but they're not giving their one Super League check out of area team that have been successful. That's well because they've won the league, no matter who's played for them, bringing French youth players through. And they celebrate with a 5-minute half-time bash. Won't be anything else about it. We'll talk about it a little bit in the semi-final when Catalan play, or the last game, their last regular season game. But we'll talk about James Bentley's broken leg every 5 minutes during the Saints game. More people identify with teams rather than players. That's my rant. Tell me what your thoughts are on the entire situation. I know a lot of you on social media have agreed with me, but those who don't agree with me, I want to hear your voice too. Tell me your thoughts. So this was a good and very, very closely fought game as Eels took on Knights at Rockhampton for our final game of week 1 of the NRL finals. Now, it didn't go to the best of starts for the Eels, but so it's the final game of week 1 in the NRL finals, and it's between the Eels and the Knights at Brown Park, Rockhampton. Both sides are coming into it. That's some good form. Knights have been picking up a little bit, but Eels had the most recent win between the two with a 40-4 victory. So let's go on to the starting lineups. There's no real surprises in the Eels lineup as Gutherson takes his place at full back and Mitchell Moses is now from his back injury. That's going to lead these boys around. Support from Dylan Brown. Blake Ferguson is back in favour after his time away from first team and is playing it in the finals again for the Parramatta Eagles. But Isaiah Papali'i is on the bench, while Tony Opachik is 18th man. teams that are not quality. So the Newcastle Knights have only got one change from their starting lineup, with Jeremy Mosi coming out of the starting lineup that they named on the Tuesday. But it's as you were with Kalen Ponga at fullback, Jake Clifford, Mitchell Pearce, Brody Jones is on the bench, and Simi Sasaji is on the bench as the 18th man. David Clemmers on the bench. Daniel Saifiti is going to lead the line with Jacobson in the starting props positions. So we've got the kick-off up and running, and it's the Eels to kick off, and the Knights are piggybacking off this Eels kick-off as Clint Gufferson found one thing: the out of bounds area in the in the Knights in goal area. Went out on the full. It was one of the weirdest starts to a finals I've seen for a while, and just booted it. It went for about 100 metres. So the Knights got a nice piggyback down the field to start us off and complete a set. By getting the ball to Ponga down the left hand side, who sets up an easy try in the corner onto Arla. Jake Clifford misses the goal conversion to the right, but the Knights are happy with the start and beat 4-0 up. Eels are making some good ground on their first set, and an easy pick up, and not too much pressure was put on the Knights on their own strike line. And a few minutes later, Waka Blake scored for the Eels. A little half break from Junior Paulo shows what the Eels are capable of, and they pick up a second consecutive set. But the game pauses while the HIA is conducted on the Knights' Tyson Fidel. He didn't look good when he stood up, but surprisingly he's allowed to stay on the field. Eels use the little rest to take an advantage by scoring down the left through Waka Blake, and the try is converted by Mitchell Moses. Eels are starting to put more pressure on the Knights' defensive line as they score again. The Knights actually score again because of a penalty to the Knights for a late tackle on Murata Nirakore, who has been placed on report. The Knights have their first foray into the Eels' 20-metre line since their early try and get a repeat set. The repeat set brings goods for the Knights as Hamel Hunt reins in a wild pass and steps inside to beat 3 defenders and score through the middle. Goes to the bunker for a review for obstruction, but the video referee judges at the defensive decision by Dunster that forces the overlap, and the try stands. Clifford converts the try into front, not from in front, to push the Knights out further, 10 points to 6. And with 3 minutes before half-time, the Knights give away a couple of repeat sets, and the Eels say thank you very much. The halfback takes on the forwards, steps around Ponga, and scores underneath the post. Very, very good try by Moses. Has been taking the game by the scruff of his neck during. He then makes the scores 12 points to 10 with the conversion, and just on the buzzer, it's Moses again. He's everywhere. He's everything to the Eels now. He gets into space and puts on a beautiful cutout pass to Enisini, who beats Ponga and flicks out to Blake Ferguson to score in the corner. Moses is unfortunate not to convert this time, but he'll be happy that he's took his Eels side into the lead going into half-time. Eels certainly looked to have been the dominant team for most of the first half, but they didn't get the points on the board to solidify their lead. The Knights made only a couple of visits into the Eels 20, but made most of it when they got there. A couple of late tries put the Eels in front, but there was plenty more of action. Thoughts in this game? We go in half time at. So now we're going to the second half, and it is the Eels that take a quick advantage. After the Eels take a quick tap after a penalty being given early on in the second half, about 47 minutes in, and they look like they mean business. Mitchell Moses knows where his winger is and puts a great ball over the top for Blake Ferguson on the right hand side, who makes a speedy run down that side to score well in the corner. But Mitchell Moses follows that up with a lovely conversion that he bends back between the posts to extend the lead to 22 points to 10. It's the Knights that need to score next to be anywhere close to winning this game, because it seems like the Parramatta Eels, Mitchell Moses in particular, are starting to run the game very, very well. And that's what they did on the 52nd minute. Knights went over. The grounding looks a bit suspect from Tuilala, but it was confirmed as okay. Clifford nails the brilliant conversion as well, in from the left-hand side of the pitch to close the gap a little further to 22-16. And the Knights are in a confident mood, right and cute after a try. There's so much energy in their defence and a lot of belief in their ability to win the game. And on 57, Tuala gets in again. Ponga sets up another beautiful try for Tuala, very similar to the first try, but Clifford can't convert this time. But it's getting closer and closer. The Eels only lead by 2 at this point, 22 points to 20. We're getting close it's getting very exciting as Mitchell Moses has put some rubber in on the 5th, which nice change to the 4 million bombs we've seen so far in this game and also others during this weekend. And the Knights are firmly pinned as they have to retreat retreat back due to the dropout being given. And we go into the final 10 minutes and it's still only a 2-point ball game, and desperation starts to mount now. It's been too long for the Eels to try to hold the Knights off, and they know they need to score. The Knights don't even have the luxury of considering the option of a 2-point game. They've simply got to score. The Eels have given themselves a good chance to kick. To defend, to get some ball back, as a good kick has forced another goal line dropout. Tyson Fizell from earlier has left the field due to a minor injury, but he had a HIA test, a little bit of a stoppage, and he seemed to have passed that. So I don't think he wasn't back for the rest of the game. Now it's a penalty try that settles right on the 78th minute. Kick was put into the in-goal area of the Knights by Moses, and Tuala tackles Penasini without the ball, and the bunker judges that he would have scored, he would have got the ball. So the referee goes in between the posts and gives a try. This is what finishes the game. Mitchell Moses converts the try from in front, making 28 points. Must admit, it was a good decision, man. Because they thought about it, and it was going to be a try either way. But Tuala, perfect game, scored an hat-trick, scored all 3 of the nice tries. So he had to do something to keep the Eels at bay. He just got caught with it in the last couple of minutes. And it's full time. It's had everything this game. Swinging lead, some sensational tries, some brilliant conversions, and as we mentioned, a penalty. So it will be the Eels to take on Panthers in the Western Derby next weekend. We'll be back to how that works out in a few moments. So, who's my man of the match? I know you all are on tenterhooks who I'm going to give this to. Did I give it to Alala for his hat-trick? Caleb Ponga because he was everything for Newcastle's attack. But I'm going to go with Mitchell Moses. He was on point with his kicking most of the time. He set up a couple of tries, scored one for himself, and was positive before and after the game, the half-time hooter. It was a masterful performance that got Parramatta through at the end. His out wide pass to Blake Ferguson was a fantastic pass. A looping over the top pass which was good enough to grace any game, to be the highlight of the actual game. Yes, there are better games and possibly better performances from him, but he was the man of the match in my opinion for game between Eels finals. So that's week 1 of the Telstra Premiership Finals series for the NRL. And unfortunately we had to say goodbye in this round to the Newcastle Knights and the Gold Coast Titans, who both manfully put up some great effort. Titans particularly, that was a big surprise. They should use that as their platform for next season, as they Roosters. Yes, the Roosters had to rebuild basically, or put together its squad players that they have now, but Titans can only play who are in front of them. They did really well and should be appreciated. They should be very, very proud of what they've done. Newcastle have a little bit more, I feel, to go get closer to these finals, next week's final. But they did well. They therefore got better as their players learning, and I think next year we might see a little bit more from the new signing that I got. But this is how the second half of the draw looks. So the losers of the first games, the Premier's Week 1 games, is Manly Sea Eagles play the Roosters and the Eels in their next games to get through to semi-finals. But the preliminary column instead. Usually it would be Week 1, quarters, semis, and grand final. That's how it would. Hey, they do it in a different way in Australia. Makes sense to them. Anyway, so Manly play the Roosters, which Manly they're going to win that. And then they go back in play Rabbitohs as they first week. Oh, sorry, they play the Rabbitohs, and then the Panthers versus the Eels, which is more than likely the Panthers win because they're not going to play as bad as the Rabbitohs and not come up against as tough a defence as what the Rabbitohs did. Will go into playing the Melbourne Storm. But there's still a chance that the Panthers and the Sea Eagles can get to the grand final. And I'm sure one-sided. and I'm going to still pick the Sea Eagles. I think the Sea Eagles are going to make it for these finals. We'll get to the grand final. I don't know about winning it now because the Storm are such a good team, and they need a little bit more, I think, and a bit more scouting, possibly even it's getting to a final and changing everything that they thought of to get to these finals. Yeah, it's going to be difficult to see past the Melbourne Storm to the entire thing. They've been so consistent through the entire regular season, and they're showing it again in the finals. But what do you think? Manly going to play the Rabbitohs first of all, and the Panthers going to play the Storm, or is there going to be a surprise with the Roosters getting to the finals, or even the Eels? Tell me in the comments. Love to hear from you. So that's it for another video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember, like, subscribe and share this video worldwide. Share it on your social media. Tag 3 people in it and get them to share it to other people. Anything to help is always great. But I'll just leave you with this little comment. What has been your favourite of these games in this week 1 tournament? I know mine is the Roosters versus fight that the Tigers put up. Shocked and scared the Roosters. You know that. Tell me what I haven't seen about Rugby League this week. If you have anything I should know, that'd be great. But in the meantime, stay safe, all the best, and I'll see you in the next video.